Hi, my name is Paulina Almira. Today I'm going to be talking about my process behind some editorial illustrations I did for Vice magazine in 2021. The name of the article was The Making of a Perfect Celebrity Apology, link below, and I'm going to be talking about the brief, my brainstorming process, my illustration process, and the final outcome. No long intros, let's go! Article summary. So the article was about talking to lawyers and publicists about the art of the non-apology apology, particularly among the famous or by corporations, or people who work in crisis communications, walking through how these statements get written. Design brief. So for the lead image, aka the first image that appears at the top, they wanted me to write sorry and add tears and liquid of some sort. For the spot image, the one that appears in between text down below, they were open to my ideas and they wanted no frame or background, so something with a white background. For the color palette, sadly no pink. I'm a very visual thinker. Whenever I hear words spoken to me or when I read them on a page, I'm able to associate them with corresponding images or colors in my head. So what I did was I read this article and I highlighted keywords or phrases that stood out to me, words that when I read them produced vibrant images in my head from the get-go. So I wrote these down and these are what I turned into my first drafts. First phrase that caught my attention, 10 drafts in a 48-hour span. For this I imagined papers flying around, crumpled pieces of paper, maybe the sun and the moon to indicate time going by. Next, once the statement is out, I sit on Twitter and have a panic attack for 24 hours. For this I imagine somebody frantically scrolling through their phone. And last, another way to measure the effectiveness of one of these statements is if you get a lot of press asks on the other end. For this I imagine somebody talking to other people on a telephone. They established that they wanted the lead image to say sorry with some tears. So this is me playing with the text in different fonts. And for the spot image, the one with no background, I decided I wanted something with 3 panels, something in the middle to revolve around having a panic attack on Twitter for an hour. This is it, a little more fleshed out. This is how I sketch, I'm sorry. This is a hand holding the telephone, a paper that says sorry, an eye in the background to represent being watched by the public. And here it is a little more defined. These are the hands, telephone, maybe a mug of coffee. The sun and the moon to represent working around the clock. And this was my very first digital draft. Though it looked like what I had sketched initially, I wasn't happy with how I translated it on the computer. It wasn't giving. I didn't like it, so I changed it. And this was my breakthrough. Isn't that so much better? The colors are way more vibrant and the letters have some weight to them as indicated by the shadow behind. It shows that they're heavy and not just floating around in space. The eye and the liquid are front and center, which is exactly what I was asked for. Taking the same color palette, I started to work on the spot image based on my sketches. Thankfully, this one translated so much better digitally. I didn't have to change much. I added the coffee mug on the right, the flying crumpled papers in the back saying I'm sorry, a telephone cord wrapping around the hands, and the eye watching everything from the back. There's a moon on the left and a sun on the right to indicate day and night passing by. This is them together, and this is the first draft I officially submitted. The comments came back saying they look great, however, they needed to see some consistency in terms of style, meaning the spot image had a black outline while the lead image did not. And they mentioned that the evil eye in the back didn't look too friendly, so they wanted me to change it to something else. They also said they wanted me to adhere more strictly to the color scheme they provided, so unfortunately I had to remove the pink. For my second official draft, I decided to yes, include pink still, but I added red and orange too, which were originally part of their color palette. I included outlines on the sorry image, so there was more consistency in terms of style, and I replaced the evil eye with a sun and a moon. Here they are up close. And finally, for the last round, they asked me to eliminate the outlines altogether. Everything else was fine. So this is what it looked like at the end. On Vice's official website when the article was published in 2021. This article and my illustrations were also published in print, but unfortunately I wasn't able to secure a copy. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm also going to post the process video for the spot illustration here on YouTube in a few days. Bye!